Welcome to this year's first installment of Applied Marketing Sciences Insights and Innovation Coffee Break webinar series. Today's presentation is entitled Bringing Patients to Life with Journey Mapping. My name is Amanda Ford. I'm a Senior Manager at AMS and the host of today's webinar. Allow me to introduce today's presenter, John Mitchell, who is one of my colleagues at AMS and our firm's President and Managing Principal. John has extensive experience serving clients in the global medical device market and has led engagements for many of the world's most innovative medical device manufacturers. He'll share his insights and recommendations for how device makers, as well as pharmaceutical manufacturers and marketers, can use patient journey mapping to improve their innovation effectiveness. Welcome, John. We call our series Coffee Breaks because the purpose of each webinar is to provide a short presentation highlighting a key topic related to innovation and insights. These presentations are not comprehensive, but instead touch upon points we believe are important to successful innovation. All microphones are on mute to minimize noise so everyone can hear, but we will take questions at the end, and I encourage you to submit questions by typing them in the chat window on the right side of your screen. With that, I'll turn it over to John to begin the presentation.
Thanks very much, Amanda. Well, let's get started. Our focus for today is patient journey mapping, which is a relatively new field in market research and within the world of medical devices and pharmaceuticals. In the next 20 minutes or so, we'll introduce the notion of a journey map, explain its applications, specifically in medical categories, and give you some tips on how to get started in creating and using the journey map to guide your own innovation efforts. First, I'd like to begin with some history of journey mapping. How did we get here? Not too long ago, the prevailing belief in marketing was that the customer followed a linear process of awareness, familiarity, consideration, and trial before ultimately landing on loyalty. Marketers used the familiar metaphor of a funnel to represent the various stages in the process, which shows the fact that you lose customers at each step. Survey research informs the marketing funnel. From a survey, you can determine the percentage of your customers who are stuck at each stage, and then decide how to deploy your marketing resources in different activities to move them along. For example, if customers are unaware of your brand, more above-the-line advertising may be needed. If the problem is trial, perhaps a promotion is in order, and if the problem is loyalty, the product itself might be the culprit. Now, this approach is not wrong, of course, and many companies, including many of our clients, still use it today. But thanks to two recent trends, the explosion of customer information sources over the past 15 or so years, and the increasing ways of measuring customer engagement, many companies are finding more insight within a different paradigm, the customer journey map. Unlike the marketing funnel, which views the market from the perspective of the brand, the customer journey follows or views the market from the perspective of the customer. A journey map follows the customer through the entire process, from the earliest inklings of engagement in the market to perhaps the first recognition of a need, through the purchase process, all the way past purchase into using the product, and ultimately starting the cycle over again as the customer repeats the process. Whereas the marketing funnel tends to focus on the transactional process of finding, acquiring, and retaining the customer, a journey map looks at the entire customer experience, especially the experience after the moment of truth, the purchase. This latter point is important because today, given the ease with which information about products can travel through digital channels, one person's experience not only impacts her own repurchase decision, but also the disposition of others toward the product. Journey maps also look at the various touch points the customers experience at each step. A touch point is an interaction with some useful information source with regard to the product or a brand. A touch point can be paid, in other words, something a company delivers, or it could be organic, a touch point that's spontaneous, like a tweet or a personal recommendation or third-party magazine article. A good journey map shows how each of these touch points can influence a customer at any of the stages of the journey. And thus, if we know which touch points are most effective for which reasons, we can look to influence them.